Okay, today we're going to talk about one of those areas that I think for a lot of people is an area that just causes them a little bit of heartburn when it comes to doing pastoral care ministry, and that is benevolence. What do you do for the people within your church? And probably for a lot of you, what do you do for the people that aren't in your church that just based upon your location can stop by at any moment and almost demand that you meet some type of need that is going on in their life, almost demand that you fill in all the gaps for their lives that you know they've not been able to fill in for themselves. And so just quickly put, you know, you need to understand that benevolence is not making up for all the shortfalls in somebody's life. Benevolence for us is the recognition that sometimes people are in a scenario and a gift, if you will, of whatever type, whether that's a gift of concern, a monetary gift, whether that's a gift card or gas, a gift can really help them take their next step. One of the things at Highlands that we talk about a lot is people taking their next step. And there are people who find themselves in a situation who can't take their next step, or maybe their next step has been kind of stopped because of some particular thing that's going on in their life. So Mary's been taking cancer treatment. She is in our church, not at the campus that we're at now. She's at one of the other campuses, and she's doing everything she can. She's working, she's paying her bills, and she also has cancer. And she's just found that because of the rates of money that's going out to fund this treatment, she can't make the next bill. And so benevolence then would be us getting with her, telling her that we love her, walking through what has happened to this point, and then if there's something that we can do as a church to help her take the next step without the whole process coming to a halt, then we want to try to do that as much as we can. And so what you have to recognize is that benevolence is not something that you can put hard and fast rules to, because if you do that, then you're going to be very limited in the scope that you're able to minister, because every situation has some type of caveat that you're going to have to factor into it. I'm not saying you shouldn't have parameters and guidelines. You should. We just try not to make hard and fast rules. So one of those is that we look at often is that we start with doing benevolence within our local church first. It doesn't mean that we don't do other things, but primarily we would spend all of our time and resources in those that are in the church, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. For those that are outside the church, what we do at Highlands is benevolently we fund as we can those people that are outside the church that are doing what we can't do, and they're doing it way better than we are. So we don't have a homeless shelter because God didn't call us to have a homeless shelter, but we recognize in our city there are people who have that gift and have that capacity and do it well. And so we try to partner with them to make sure that we contribute towards their success. So therefore, if somebody comes in who's homeless, we're not under the pressure to resolve their homeless situation. We know somewhere that they can go. Now, if that needs a cab ride from point A to point B, we can facilitate that. But the point I'm trying to make is that you can't, in your local church, try to be all for all. What you have to do in benevolence is that you have to be for those that you can. Do for one what you wish you could do for all. It's a great quote from Andy Stanley. Recognizing we can't do everything for all people, and we don't feel the pressure to do it, or we reject the pressure to do it, because people are going to put it on you. So what we do at our church is we do that through the small group ministry team, meaning it's a group of people whose responsibility is to handle those needs, as we've talked the other type of pastoral needs as well. These people are trained to resource and support, if you will, these type of needs in the church, recognizing that we're going to try to get them into a small group. Today, as a matter of fact, we just had a meeting with one of our local hospitals, and we were talking about how pastoral care ministry is happening in the church. And if a person is connected in a small group at Highlands, it's a huge possibility that if they come up with a need, whatever it may be, then that small group is going to facilitate that need. Probably most of the pastoral care ministry that takes place in our small group ministry team, most of that is for people that are marginally connected to a group or not connected at all. And so in those sense, you're going to have a team that's there. Small group ministry team is what we call it. And for someone who comes in and they need their power bill paid, or they need a gallon of gas, or they need milk, or they need food for their baby, then we're either going to see that this is something that we can meet the need for, or we're going to resource them to another location within the city who does that. Again, we don't have a homeless shelter. We don't have space where we help people get off drugs. We don't have a clothes closet here at Church of the Highlands. Probably never going to have a clothes closet here at Church of the Highlands because it's not what we're called to do. But people have need, and so we're going to find out who in our community does that. We're going to make sure that they get support from us. We do that every year at the end of the year with our legacy offering, and sometimes we even go above and beyond that, where we support them on a monthly basis depending upon what we're utilizing from them. We don't want to just utilize from them. We also want to help them. But those needs that we can meet in-house, then we do one of two things. Simply put, that would be we have a person, and this doesn't take a team. We need a team because of the scope and scale of what's here at Highlands, but whatever the size of your church is, it may not need a team right now. It may just need a person that has a small group built around him for finding out, is it really just a sack full of groceries that they need? Is it really just somebody to help them pay the light bill? Is it really just, what is it that's gonna help them take that next step and get beyond? We don't get into long-term care issues, because if that's the case, then solving those long-term problems without also fixing what is the long-term issue will just be something that just perpetually happens over and over. So we do financial interviews. We look at how they spend their money, and we do bill assessments and all those types of things, because again, we're not trying to judge someone. We're trying to make sure that they can continue taking next steps. And the next step can't just be, I need money for today, but I'll be back because I'm going to need money for tomorrow as well. That's done all through a team. Early on at Highlands, that was done through people that were just dream teamers. That's what our term is for those that are volunteers. It's done through dream teamers who had a passion to help us in that regard, and they had that capacity, because again, what you're going to need to help these people understand is there's going to feel like the pressure is immediate. This thing must be solved today. And primarily, most things don't need to be solved today. It got here over a long period of time. It's not going to go away quickly. And so you have to kind of have a long view look at life, and a long view look at those type of people, and help them begin to see something that maybe that they can't see. Benevolence is not something that is easy. Benevolence can be very simple. Simple is not easy, and you're going to have to be able to set parameters and do what only you can do. And if only the only thing you can do is give out $100 once a month, then do that well. Do that well. We've always said this at Highlands: we want to underpromise, overdeliver. And when you do that, you will make inroads into the community. And then as you grow, then you're going to find other ways that you can do wonderful benevolence. But never let people that are eager drive what the church is going to do. Make sure the people that are serving and are eager are fulfilling the vision of whatever is the local church has.